I just want to throw a teaser to us rather. To you, what does a safe space look like to you? When you talk about a safe space, what do you understand by a safe space? What does it mean to you? Okay, a place where everyone can do love.
All right, thank you. I'll
Okay,
talk about safe space. It basically means somewhere where you can feel, where you can express yourself, where you can be vulnerable without the fear of judgment, where you can be yourself, where you can express yourself without the fear of, oh, what will they say, without the fear of segregation, without the fear of being, being put aside, being looked at somehow.
so
Basically,
safe space, just as it is safe space. So it's an environment that allows for safety, allows for protection, it allows for expression without being judged. Okay, so it doesn't mean that people are free to do anything they like without consequences. Okay, but it's just a place where people feel at home, people feel the warmth of love, people feel the sense of belonging. People are not afraid to express themselves. People are not timid. People are confident that whatever thing they go through, even when they make mistakes, they will not be crucified. When you hear safeguarding, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind?
Has said, safeguarding is our actions or steps, things done to ensure that one is safe or away from danger, both myself and the people I'm in charge of. So
it's basically ensuring that people are safe from abuse, from neglect, from exploitation, from violence. So when we talk about safeguarding a child, is to ensure that this child is protected from abuse, from neglect, from exploitation, from violence, and ensuring that we create that safe space that we defined earlier, that the child can thrive.
I will, at this point, move pass my mic to Mrs. Oluwakemi David Osagbuje. I hope I pronounce it. Going on with this training with a focus on roles and responsibilities. Thank you so much, Ma, for joining us today.
Okay, thank you so much once again. Good evening, everyone. So when we talk about safeguarding, we're talking about, actions that we take to protect individuals from harm. Primarily, we're talking about preventing abuse from happening, right? But in the case also that the abuse has happened, safeguarding also includes, providing responses and supports for victims of abuse. In safeguarding, we also talk about empowering people to make the right choices. We talk about exploitations. We talk about even neglect. Yes, it's a form of abuse. When a child is being neglected, when a child is not properly taken care of, it's a form of abuse. It affects the person's self-esteem and just affects him psychologically, emotionally, and all of those. So many of those young ones, they know more than we do. Sometimes they do. So you need to be able to build trust early in your relationship with them. Maybe the first time, do video calls so that the person is able to put a face, to the personality, and you are also able to put a face to the person you are relating with. We must learn active listening as an important part of communication. You have to do things that will make them relax and be able to talk to you. Right. And then timeliness is key, right? So, this person you are dealing with is being abused, maybe offline, sometimes online. So you really need to be able to swing into action quickly, appear in a professional manner. Still talking about boundaries, you are not going to be seeking favor from this beneficiaries. Let your beneficiary know what is expected at the beginning. Let the parties involved, let their parents know what is expected at the beginning.
Well, we have our second trainer here with us already, Madam Faith Tom Babs.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone from Nigeria. Thank you, Shading, for having me. I'm going to be handling the role play session, about disclosure. How does the mentor respond if a teen discloses a case of sexual harassment? So disclosures are very sensitive moments. We must be very, very careful how we manage it. As mentors, know that you're not necessarily an investigator. You're just the first responder. And what's your role in that case? Your role is basically to listen, reassure, act appropriately, act responsibly. You need to know what to do. What are best practices? Please, the first thing I want to say is stay calm. Your body language is key. Keep your body language open. Don't show any form of shock. Listen without interrupting or pressing for details. How did he do it? Don't interrupt. Allow the child to learn. And don't press for details. Then one other thing is to reassure that child that it's not their fault. Now I want us to do a form of role plays. We have a scenario. Please listen to this scenario. Let's say the teen comes to you and says, to a mentor, right? And says, please don't tell anyone. But the truth is that one of my cousins during this last holiday, holiday periods are very, very sensitive periods. During this last holiday, one of my cousins came around and kept touching me in ways I didn't like. What should be the mentor's? What should be your responsibility? What's your task as a mentor?
Yeah, my thoughts right now is that you've given us some clues. One, you've given us a clue that we should be empathetic to the abused and not blame the abused. So we should say, something like, I see, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that this happened, and having assured the mentee that it's not their fault that they were abused, then it's time to start thinking about what resources they can have, or maybe do they need to separate into themselves, and does their parent need to know, and does their parent already know, and is their parent handling it in a way that's in the best interest of the abused? And
then what does confidentiality mean? Confidentiality is basically protecting the child's story from unnecessary exposure. And as a mentor, you should know how to manage disclosure. And it is a chain link. You cannot afford to be the weak link. It's the chain work. You cannot afford to be the weak one. Thank you very, very much for having me. Thank you for your attention. I know we have a lot to do together, and I can actually not wait for what God wants to do with this project.
Firstly, I want to appreciate the trainers for the wonderful training we have this evening. So they've mentioned a lot, and I think, and all those points are actually valid. I'll just point out to the one that stood out for me the most is the aspect of active listening to the teenagers.